I seen a video where Vari Harris, Ziyah Harris' older brother, he's 18, was doing, and it was certain things in the video that stood out to me that I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to start off by showing you a clip.
When you're living there, did you ever see Jarvis there, ever?
I seen him a couple times. Like usually when he'd come to, visit his kids.
Mm-hmm.
He'd come to see his kids. I ain't seen nothing other than that.
Did he ever spend a night?
No, not that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never seen him spend a night. I don't think my grandma played that no grown man, spend a night in the house.
Yeah, because I know your grandmother said, no, he didn't really come in. He didn't spend a night.
No, she didn't. She'd have him, fix stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I remember the time, that she had replaced the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
She had him put the toilet in, fix some doors, stuff that needed to be fixed around the house, he had help with.
Mm-hmm.
What stood out to me in this particular clip was the fact that Vari was stating that his grandmother would allow Jarvis inside the house to fix certain things that was broken, replace the toilet, fix the door, and just small repair work around the house. So knowing what type of man he was, she's giving him access to the house where kids are. It's one thing if her daughter Shannon wants to be involved with this type of man, but why give this man access to your house just to do minor repairs, to be the handyman, when you know that he has been convicted of SAing kids? And so that's one of the things that stood out to me.
I'm hurt too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I just wish everything. I just wish my auntie never messed with him. Everybody. She grown. She gonna talk to who she talk to, but you should know. You should before you even talk to a person. You should know them. You should know what they got going on, who that person is, and what that person is capable of. And that's just real with anyone that come around.
Yes, because I saw your auntie state, out her own mouth, say, yes, he told me that he went to jail before for being a child molester. But she said, I gave him a chance because society gave him a chance and I was 19. So what do you got to say about that?
I feel like she should have just left him alone,
Mm-hmm.
I can't see no female just being with a pedophile. It's crazy.
So the thing is, to me, to your auntie, society doesn't have to house Jarvis. He doesn't have to live with them. He doesn't have to be around their kids. The judge don't know Jarvis. He's not living with Jarvis.
Based off paperwork,
Yeah, so he's released until the world, society doesn't have to house him.
Yeah. This whole situation, I just wish, I just wish I was there for my little sister a little bit more than I was. Because don't get me wrong, I was there for my little sister just to clear everything up.
Mm-hmm.
And my little cousin, my cousin, nobody knew about none of this. I know my auntie, she was, putting out reports and stuff, but I ain't never know what the reports and stuff was about. Because, I was little. I didn't really pay too much attention to that stuff.
Yes, because that was going to be my next question. Did any of y'all knew before she passed that he was convicted pedophile before all of this?
No, I didn't. If I would have known, I would have, I feel like I would have took my sister with me if I would have known, you feel me? When he was coming around and then the kids being there, it's a lot of females in our family, so.
Yeah.
The kids and then, the little boys and stuff, that's not cool. I would have took my sister with me and I would have, try to connect with my auntie to see, what resolution could she come up with.
Because I also stated that his fiance that was on the stand, she said that Jarvis was very good with her kid and would take her kid to his shop. So did you ever go up to his shop? Did he ever teach you how to change oil, tires, anything?
I did go up there during the summer one time.
Mm-hmm.
I went up there with one time, because I used to go walk to football practice and stuff like that, basketball practice and stuff, because I used to play for my school, and they got all types of men working in there, and I did my research, and some of the men that was working at his oil shop.
Yeah.
They have the same background as him.
Yes, I found that out as well, that a lot of them, because that's usually the only work they can get sometimes, working for themselves. So usually these independent contractors or, mechanics or, I'm not trying to put the label on all of them. Most people that work for themselves is because they may be a convicted felon. Can't go out and get a job.
Or record messed up or just
yes, because I seen when they played the call, when King picked up the jail call that's been released, I can hear people in the background, "What's up, Jarvis?" They know what he in prison for. Why y'all saying what's up? Yeah. To somebody that murdered or is responsible for the disappearing of a 13-year-old little girl. Yeah. That all y'all knew was up there.
Another thing that caught my attention is when Vari was stating that Shannon was 19 when she met Jarvis, and that she knew because he told her what he was in prison for. So she knew that he SA'd 2 kids, and that's why he was incarcerated. And then stated that because society gave him a second chance, she was going to give him a second chance. So I want to say this to women in general, young women, older women, any woman that is getting involved with a man, you have to have a deal breaker. You have to have boundaries as far as what type of man you don't want to date. And so when she's saying that society gave him a second chance, in reality, society didn't know anything about Jarvis. He was released back into society after serving his time. So that doesn't mean that society was giving him a second chance. That means he was convicted of committing a crime against a child. So therefore he had to do time. He completed his time and he was released. That's why some people are currently debating whether sex offenders or child predators, should they be released back into society, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to be repeat offenders. They're going to do it again. So as women, we need to be aware of this when it comes to dating men. I can't get mad at Jarvis for telling her this is who I am, but I can get upset with her for not believing him and bringing that type of man into your house, into your life, into your world, around other children that's within your family. And then the second thing is, as a woman, there's a possibility that you can have children from this man, like Shannon ended up doing. Would you want your child's father to have that label of being a child, a sex offender, knowing that there's certain things and places he cannot go with that child, knowing that we live in a society where everything is on the internet and everything is accessible? Suppose the kids are playing around and decide, hey, let's see how many essays are in the neighborhood, then your house pop up. How do you think that's going to make the kids feel when they're going to be saying, oh, your father is we can't go to your house no more. We can't hang around your house because our parents know what your father did in the past. That is something that's going to follow him for the rest of his life, and that is something that should. So as a woman dating a man, do you want to have that burden on you of what he was convicted of? Do you want to put that burden on your kids of what he was convicted of? Because as little children know, they're not going to be on the internet searching that. But when they get teenagers, and sometimes they're not looking for certain things, but they may come across certain things. So that should be a deal breaker, that you do not get involved with a man has been convicted as well as confessed to SAing a child. And then you see with Tavares, he stated that he had been to that shop and there was nothing but men there at that shop. And that, a lot of those men was also predators who had background just like Jarvis. So, that's an environment, just hearing that, a mechanic shop, or, changing oil, tires or whatever they was doing, but it was more like on a mechanic level. Why would you request that 2 little girls come up to the shop to help clean up when it's nothing but men there? And then when you think about it, the majority of the people who bring their cars in to get repaired are men. So you're putting two little girls in an environment where it's majority of men that are going to be there around these little girls. So why would you send, regardless if it's his daughter or not, as a mother, why would you feel comfortable enough to send your child up there? Then as a grandmother, knowing what he was accused of doing, why would you send the kids up there? And I'm sure that they have, just like the grandmother was allowing him to come in the house to do minor repairs, I'm sure she once or twice have taken her car up to that shop if something was wrong with it to have him look at it. You know, just like his sister, she stated she was there that night. The last night she seen Ziyah was because she was getting work done on her car. In spite of knowing who her brother was, she was still associating him. She was going up there to get, you know, work done on her car, and that may have been for free or at a discounted price. So, you know, you can see how he's grooming not just the children, but the whole family. Yeah, I can help you out as far as home repairs. Oh, I can help you out as far as, you know, getting your car done. Yo, you need new tires, you need an oil change. Yeah, I can help you out. So here it is, a house full of women, like Vari stated, a house full of women that needs a man. That's why it's important that men stay around the family, that there's a two-parent household, because a child predator will not prey on a child when they see there's a man there. But they will make themselves available and present to women. And you see he went from house to house to house doing that same thing.
So when did you get the call? Was it the day, January 9th, or is this the next day?
It was the same day. As soon as when she went missing, they called me. Like,
so is this at night? What time?
No, it wasn't. It was afterwards, because I remember my grandma was telling me we had to wait 24 hours and stuff. I remember she was on the phone with the detectives, and I came in the room, and I was asking her questions, like, what's going on and stuff. Mm-hmm. She was telling us, like, okay, Ziyah's missing, we don't know where she was at. I seen this, she got off the bus, da-da-da-da-da. It was just that. And that's when we started going out looking for her and stuff like that. Then when the next day came, that's when the situation, that's when everybody, the attention, it started getting bigger, because, she haven't came up nowhere. Like, she ain't come back home, nothing. And it been hours, it been whole 24 hours go by, and she still haven't came home. So, we just took our time and went out there, went to go look for her, try to trace everything, her phone, all that.
So let's back the story up. She go missing January 9th. Mm-hmm. Do you get a call at night, or you get the call the next day? If you can recall.
The same night. The same night. Because, it was...
So who called you that night?
My grandma.
Okay.
She told me Ziyah was, missing and stuff. And I'm like, how?
Did she say missing, or she ain't come home yet?
Come home yet, but...
So in y'all mind, y'all thinking she probably with a friend, or y'all just brushing it off like, oh, she gonna pop up in a few hours?
I thought she went to, like, after school, like, because, she was in after school programs and stuff. I thought she stayed for after school programs. So then we went to go look. We went up to the school. She wasn't at the school. We went to their bus stop. Last thing they said, they dropped her off at the bus stop. And my grandma contacted her, went back to the school, got the accent. Who was the last bus driver and this and that, and then in the area, we was going to everybody's house who had cameras and, seeing if they had any footage on anything.
Yes. Yeah. Is that where that one footage came about, where she was walking down?
The lady had a ring camera, caught her, walking.
Another thing that got my attention, this particular part of the video, when the interviewer asked Vari, are you sure it was on the 9th? Because she went missing on the 9th. You sure it was on the 9th that your grandmother called you to let you know that your sister was missing? And he was like, yes, but at the same time, he was kind of unsure. He was like, yeah, it was on the 9th. We got together, we went looking for her and stuff like that. And then he was saying that when he got to the house, because his grandmother let him know, but when he got to the house, his grandmother was on the phone talking to the detective, and the detective told her that it had to be 24 hours before they can start looking for Ziyah. I'm thinking about two things when I heard that conversation, that I feel that he got the date wrong, and if the grandmother did say that, she was lying. One is when you look at the interview with the trial, they say they, went out looking for Ziyah as far as like around the neighborhood, thinking that she was back at school. She wasn't at school. And then once they couldn't find her, they came home. She never mentioned that she reported Ziyah on the 9th. She made sure she stated she waited until she got up the next morning. She took the kids, she got the kids dressed, took them to school, and reported it to the school. A detective is not going to get involved until a certain point when the child is not found. Normally, if you call the police, then the police department is going to come out to do the initial search. And if they find evidence that it may have been foul play, that is when the detectives are going to come in. And if she's stating that the detective told her to wait 24 hours to call for help, that's not true. Anytime a child is missing, they tell you to call them immediately, call them right away, because time is of the essence. It's very important because kids are not going to have the wherewithal to go, what direction they're going in, how to, catch this ride. So 9 times out of 10, yes, a child could just be lost. No one has them, they just lost. But then there is a chance that the child could have been snatched. So the quicker they can get on there to look for the child, to figure out what's going on, if the child is just wandered off and is lost, or maybe at a friend's house and no one know about this friend, or if they have actually been snatched and kidnapped, they will be able to do things that you cannot do just as an individual, because they have more eyes than you. Then plus they can also put out an Amber Alert, something you as a parent can't do. So they have a farther reach, and there's a better chance, the quicker you call them, there's a better chance they will be able to recover your child. Because once that Amber Alert goes off, because it has happened to me on my phone, I have had Amber Alerts. They're in different counties. I'm in one county, the Amber Alert is coming from another county. It's like everyone in Florida know that Amber Alert is going on. So people are going to be looking for, if it's a certain type of car, they got a picture of the child, they got a description of the child. So now you have more eyes looking for that child. So if they would have done that with Ziyah, as soon as they realized she was not she did not come home, she was not at the after school program, she was actually missing, the phone call should have been made then. The longer you wait, it widens the chance of her being recovered. It widens the chance of her being found. Because you can imagine, just say for instance, Jarvis was going to kidnap her. Look how much time went by and how much of a distance he could have been. They don't know what direction he went in, what state, what this, what that, because no one called. So you're just giving this person, whoever, you don't know what's going on with the child. So it's very important to call as soon as you realize they are missing. Make that phone call right then and there. It doesn't matter where they end up, if they say, oh, I was at the grocery store, or I was at this friend, I just met this friend. It doesn't matter. Make that phone call right away. That's the only way you're going to know, you have a better chance of getting your child back.
And Marquita's daughter was actually on the stand too, right?
Yeah, and that hurt me too, which is my little cousin.
So she witnessed.
Yeah, my little cousin going through, she in therapy right now. She going through, depression and stuff. She's stressed. She feel like it's her fault,
She should have told.
Yeah, she feel like she should have told, and she's trying to kill herself, all types of stuff. So that's why her dad got her in therapy and stuff now. So he doing good with her with that and stuff like that. So appreciate him with that, for doing that for her. But
now, have you been to any of the court dates?
No, but when this next trial come, I will be there. It just I couldn't do it. It was too much at the time.
Yeah.
And then with Marquita's daughter, she is the one that happened to be at the shop one particular time when she seen Ziyah sitting on Jarvis' lap. And I guess people, sometimes people don't think about this as a child. These are children. And so even though she's seen that as a child, she didn't tell anyone about that particular incident. And so, she feeling guilty, like it's her fault. If she would have told, Ziyah would have still been alive. And I think some people have said something, like on the internet, said something about, why didn't you tell? If you would have told, Ziyah would still been there. So I am very glad that her father recognized what's going on with his daughter and put her into counseling. And I honestly feel that every child that was in that household needs to be in some type of counseling, especially his kids, because they're going to have to grow up knowing what their father did to their cousin. And you can tell how cold-hearted Shannon appears to be and how the grandmother appears to be. So what counseling or how they're going to look out for the kids? Because in the beginning of the interview, Vari stated that he left when he was about 14, 15 because it was too many kids in the household. The grandma was very strict. No one really listened to them. And he just felt that it would be better for him to leave. And he kind of feeling a little guilty because he feel that he should have taken his sister with him, in order to protect her. But, he left and went to stay with a friend of his family. And, he felt that he had a better life because he was going through things when it came to his mother. I think she got involved with a woman, and I think she got involved with a woman and some other things that kind of took her away from the kids as far as being a parent to the kids. So they're dealing with their mother on that end. Then the grandmother ended up adopting them and just kind of like brought them into the household. So he stated in the beginning of the video that she really never helped them deal with what was going on with them mentally. And so it's like, okay, let me just take these kids, put them in the house. And a lot of people feel that just because you put a roof over a child's head, that you solve their problem. But I always say kids need counseling just like adults need counseling. There are things that kids go through, and a lot of times people look at kids as being resilient. Oh, they'll be okay. Oh, they will bounce back. Oh, they're too young to understand. They're too young to know. But you have to think about kids may not understand everything, but they can feel certain emotions. They can feel things. They can kind of get a sense of how everyone else is talking and treating one another and treating different things. And so they may not be able to express themselves or be in a position to express themselves. So that is why counseling is needed for kids. And I feel like every single child that was in that household need to be in counseling, because you got to understand Ziyah is no longer there. And they understand why Ziyah is no longer there. If they're old enough to get on the internet, if they old enough to have friends, associates in school to understand, what's going on, they may be talking about it as well, or asking them questions, about what happened to Ziyah, where's Ziyah, why did your mama do this, why did your auntie, because kids hear their parents talking, kids be on the internet, and kids will repeat things that they're hearing and feel like maybe I should ask them to see what's really going on. So all those kids need to be in counseling, because I feel like they have been, they was in a clean house, they had food, they had clothes, but emotionally they was neglected. As far as being in a secure environment, as far as not having predators around them, they was neglected. So it's very important, like I said, as women, have a standard when it comes to a man, that you don't be desperate for a man just to say I have a man, or I have a male figure in my life, or I have a male figure in my household. Just like his fiance was saying that Jarvis treated her kids nice. Predators do that. That's how they groom. You don't groom by treating a person mean. You groom them by treating them nice. So you don't know who was going to be his next victim, because from what I'm understanding, He was charged in 2005 for SAing a child, and I think he got 7 years for that. And he did his time and he got out. I think there's 2 other kids. One is grown now, she's 20, and another girl, I think she's 13, that he also SA when they was minor. And this was around 2016, 2017, around that time, if I'm not mistaken. So that means between when he initially was arrested and let go for SA of a family member, he got out, he did the same thing before he ever met Shannon. That right there tell you that these type of people is something in their mind that attracts them to children, that attracts them to minor. It's an attraction that is not going to go away just by locking them up. When they get out, they're going to go back to getting what they want in the same way that they want. So this is why you cannot get involved with a man that you know for sure was convicted and is a predator, because they might not prey on your kids, but if you're bringing them around other kids, they're going to prey on those kids. And so this is something that as women we have to be mindful of to protect these kids out here. And you know, if you know somebody who did this, don't think it's a one-off. They either have done it before and just haven't got caught, or they're going to do it again. That's just the way things are.